just to show like how I've grown since I don't even know how old, but I'm pretty sure that was like my first like real haircut. So, so yeah, that's why I chose that picture. And then here is my picture representation, and I chose this photo because I think Great Danes are just how like they represent my personality, because I think they're all those things, and I just think that they're just like such beautiful animals, and yeah, I really like them, and I think that they just show like peace, tranquility, just like all of that. So this is what makes my family feel special. They make me feel special because they make me feel loved. They care for me. They stand up for me. I love my family and everything that they've done for me, and I wouldn't be here without them today. And so I chose. I did a little like photo dump of everybody, and so this is when we were in North Carolina. There's Mimi at dinner, and this is the trip that me and Lana went on during spring break, and it started snowing, and it was just pretty crazy. And that was after me and my grandpa Papa went fishing, and we got Burger King after, and then yeah. And so these are my activities in ministry. I am on the sailing team for Calvary, which just started like gaining a lot more traction, and I'm really excited to keep that going, like probably possibly do varsity, so I'm excited for that. And then also I love to hike. There's a picture of me on the trip also. I have been hiking, ever since that I started going to like North Carolina, Tennessee with my family. I love doing that, and I'm excited to keep that going. And I'm also into a surf camp last summer, yeah, and I really like that. That's really fun. So that's an activity that I can continue to do throughout my high school career, possibly get a scholarship somewhere, but I don't know. And then I'm also in the drum line I've been in the drum line since the first quarter, 7th grade, and I think that's one of my favorite things to do, because it just like, it really helps you with everything, honestly, because it helps you with like teamwork, and once you get good at one instrument, others come easier to you. They're still hard, obviously, but yeah. And then my ministry, when I went to the Bahamas, that was great. I loved going to the Bahamas because I really enjoyed serving others and having a servant's heart, and just like loving and caring for those kids in the Bahamas, because they don't have as much as we do. So I just think that if we just show love to them, then yeah. And then here's how I use my gifts for high school. So this is another thing about the Bahamas. I will probably go to the Bahamas as a student leader in 10th or 12th grade, because I really like that trip, and I think I had a really connection and passion to help other people, and I think I was pretty good at that. So I would really like to go back, and I had a really good connection with the kids too. So I think not only help the kids that are in the Bahamas, but help other kids in my position now as a 10th or 12th grader. Like at one of those nights in the Bahamas, during one of the campfires, all the 8th graders would go up to like the 10th or like the student leaders, and I really liked that. I thought that was pretty good, and I think God has blessed me with the ability to help other people like that. So yeah. And here's my testimony. I've always known Christ since I was born, really. I never, I know some people they weren't born into Christianity. They didn't have an easy life like me. I did. But I was born in, always going to church. I was born with that. And yeah, Jesus has always been a huge role and part of my life. And just no matter, always, everything that I do is rooted in God. And I've always been in a Christian school environment, and yeah, so I just never didn't know Jesus. And then here's my life verse, Philippians 4:6-7. Do not be anxious about anything, But in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your mind in Christ Jesus. I love this verse a lot because it's a very common life verse. I know a lot of people that have this one too, but it's for a really good reason. This verse helps me when I'm feeling stressed or just scared or worried. But whenever I see this verse, I just feel like peace. And Paul wrote this verse when he was in prison, and I think that is a great example of this verse working through someone, because Paul was in a way worse situation than I've ever have been. He was facing trial and execution, but this verse helped him overcome that, and he had no fear. And I didn't do both. Faith, the time you shared your faith. The time I shared my faith with someone was in the Bahamas. I shared my faith to a group of kids at the school we went to. There were a couple of kids who I didn't think really cared, but there was a handful of kids that genuinely cared and listened. There was this one girl in the Bahamas that after I shared, the teacher or principal, I think, she allowed the students to buy a popsicle, and she got me a popsicle. It was like $1 or something, but $1 doesn't sound like a lot to us, but to them, that's a ton. And I just really like that because I think that they seriously, I think she, genuinely cared. So I think that she was just so nice that she did that, and I was just taken aback. I had to really, reflect on that. All right, spiritual disciplines. So, I have a couple ones. I enjoy reading my devotions, before bed, and in the morning. My dad got me a devotion book for my birthday, so I do that. And I like to pray every night and morning. And I think Mr. Bond was in 6th grade. He helped me really know how to pray correctly, because there was a time when it was just all self-centered. It was just me, but I never really realized that it should be us and we, and because he gets so much, it's just, yeah. All right, this is my church involvement. So I don't go to church every Sunday. I will admit that. I'm not gonna lie and say I do, but I try to as much as I can, but even though I don't, it's still a big thing in my life whenever I do. It's still super treasured and valued to me, and I think that I still think it's very important, and I do try to go more, but it's something I need to work on. All right, worldview connection. Science just really helps me see God's work in everything. I mean, science is so amazing, just how everything works. It's in biology, ecology, I love seeing him everywhere you look, pretty much, because everything you see in the natural world around you, you just think that it's just crazy that everything works perfectly. If we were a foot closer to the sun, we'd burn up. So I just think it's just crazy how perfect everything is, and that he made it just amazing. And I just love sitting in nature and taking everything in, because that's one of the most calming and one of the best things you can do, because when you really just sit down and think about everything, it just makes you just wow. All right, this is the student growth part. All right, teacher influence. Mr. Bond, Mr. Rocco, and Ms. McGuire. Mr. Bond was a key part in strengthening my relationship with God. I think the part that stuck out to me the most was his talk on prayer. He completely changed my prayer life entirely. I mean, I already went into that a little bit, but just in all, he just seriously changed it. It was amazing, really. And then Miss Sherby was my history teacher for 2 years, and was probably one of the nicest people I know. And I just don't think that, it's just crazy that I had her for 2 years and pretty much all my middle school, and that, in the Bahamas, we had a really nice talk about everything, and so that was just a really good time. Miss McGuire helped me with my math/academic life. I don't think I would have passed math without her. So yeah. So I'm very thankful for Miss McGuire. Academic. So
The hair.
so since 6th grade, I have grown spiritually and academically in many ways. Since then, I have grown to have a better work ethic. In 6th grade, I didn't take anything seriously. I have also grown to do more spiritual disciplines. Since my work ethic grew, my grades rose a little bit. In 6th and 7th grade, my grades weren't the highest at all, but in all, I've been more serious around. So this picture was from English in 6th grade, I think. I mean, yeah, you can kind of tell by me. But
English or yearbook?
no, he was
subbing.
Subbing.
Mm. So yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What I'll remember most. I've loved all of our school trips really. I mean, every single one of them was just amazing because, I mean, especially the Bahamas, that one really just stuck out to me the most. But since 6th grade, that was 6th grade in Epcot, that was the Keys, and that was in the Bahamas. All of them were just really fun. And I think that this also, the Keys trip really helped with showing God's creation and everything. And yeah. And then also I will have a good time with my friend, or remember all the times with my friends and just fun time in general. Alright, and so my showcase piece is me surfing, and this school year I have learned how to surf. I went to surf camp in the summer and I really enjoyed doing it. Later that summer, I got a surfboard. This is a big accomplishment. I think this is a big accomplishment of mine because I think surfing has been a complete roller coaster for me. There's been ups and downs. I faced numerous challenges of balancing, face planting in the sand, and yeah. I've gotten better. I have some friends that I like to surf with though, and I'm excited for summer to come so I can keep going this. But it also just shows me how God works through you, and just like trial and error pretty much, because you start and you're just not very good at the start, obviously. But then even though you face plant, you scrape your knee, you do all that, it just keeps you planted and you keep going. So I think this is the biggest accomplishment of mine this year.
I mean,